Good morning and welcome to today's daily word of encouragement. I want to encourage you today out of John chapter 5. We're all familiar with this story, most of us are, and it's about the lame man who couldn't walk at the pool of Bethesda. Now, it was said in those times, it was believed, it was a myth, that if you got into the pool this one day out of the year, that the angels would an angel would come and stir the waters, and the first person in the water would get healed. So this day, Jesus is walking by and he sees this lame man, and Jesus realizes that this man, he had been lame for a very long time. So Jesus asked the man, "Do you want to be made well?" And the man says, "Sir, I want to be, but every time I try to get in the water, somebody beats me to it." Now, can you imagine every year thinking, this is my year, this is my time, the cycle is going to be broken? You know, kind of like us Christians, every New Year's Eve, you know, we hear a sermon or something that this is our year, we're going into our year, this is our year, just to find out that this is just like last year. It's life. It has its ups and downs. We get stuck in cycles of maybe dysfunctional relationships, patterns, and so forth. Now, Jesus ended up healing this man, but Jesus and this man are not who I want to focus on today. I want to focus on the rest of the people who every year are disappointed because they get in the waters or they don't get a chance to get in the water, and they have this cycle of depression, of having to accept the fact that they didn't get in the waters in time, and they're in their pity for most of the year, and then, you know, probably right before the following year on that day, all of a sudden hope starts to spring up again. This is my time. This is my time. And then just enter into another cycle because they've set their expectations and they've limited their expectations on this one day a year. Jesus, when he walks in on the scene, Jesus breaks expectations. He breaks the cycles. He breaks the norm. What are you limiting in your life that you're expecting God to do in a certain way, and you're disappointed because it's not heaven's agenda? Your agenda and heaven's agenda is not lining up. And what happens is there tends to be a friction. And when there's a friction, there's a frustration. And in the frustration, we're blaming everybody, including the devil. It's the devil's fault. No, folks, sometimes the one that we're wrestling with is not Satan. It's not others. It's not even our own flesh. Sometimes we're frustrated because what we're wrestling with is God. We are wrestling and battling against God's plan for our life, because when you truly surrender and say, God, I give up, not I give up life and I'm going to take my own life. No. I'm talking about, I am tired of the cycles. I am tired of my agenda. I am tired. God, I surrender. What do you want? That's when we begin to enter into God's rest. And so I want to encourage you today. And I want to and give you a perspective that maybe you're fighting with God. And God understands. He understands. But it's when we come to full surrender, it's not that moment where Jesus now he chastises and spanks you. No. It's in that moment where he's like, yes, you finally have unlimited me and have no longer hindered me to just that pool. But now there's another way I can heal you. Now there's another way I can break the cycle, because you're no longer telling me that I have to do it this way, but you're giving me the freedom to work in your life the way I've been planning on it. So I want to end today with this. Habakkuk 3:2. It says, Lord, I have heard of your fame. I stand in awe of your deeds, Lord. Repeat them in our day, in our time. Make them known. In other words, God, I read of your famous stories. I read in your word, and I see and hear testimonies of what you've done in other people's life. Lord, would you repeat it again in our day? The book of Acts, what we read, revival and miracles, signs and wonders. God, would you do that again in our day? God, the healing of relationships, the restoration of finances and all that the enemy has stolen. God, would you repeat your famous deeds again in our day? Would you make them known? Would you make yourself known? Let's take the limits off of God. God is limitless, but we limit how he can work in our life when we're so focused on how he has to do it we begin to think we're the Holy Spirit and dictate. You see, if that man stayed with his narrow focus that this was the only way he could be healed, but that day Jesus gave him another option, and the man took that option and he walked away. Be encouraged today. I can talk to you all day long. I know you need to get to work and get to life, but be encouraged today. Maybe the friction, the frustration, the exhaustion is because you're fighting with God. He says his yoke is easy and his burden is light. Now, in that full surrender, now we can understand why Jesus slept on that boat in the midst of the storm. He was fully surrendered to his Father's will. So be encouraged today. I love you. Be encouraged. Stop limiting God. He wants to repeat the Ancient of Days who spoke to Moses, Abraham. I mean, you read about it. He wants to do those powerful things he did for them. He wants to do them for you today. Just don't limit how he does it. And watch what he does. You're going to stand in awe of. Be blessed today. Hope you have an amazing day. Be encouraged because God is in control. I love you and God bless you.